Ooh, gonna go through a big puddle. Whee! All right. Stand by for entertainment and knowledge. I'm not quite sure what the percentage will be. How many percent's entertainment? How many percent's knowledge? Stand by to figure it out. Trying to leave the McDonald's. Get out on Highway 17 again. We'll let people join up until I'm able to get out on the Highway 17. Oh shit, here comes the Gap. About to shoot the Gap. Shoot the Gap. Damn, 350. Got the Super Duty. Here comes the Super Duty. Give it about 24 seconds. Looks like we have a viewer. Welcome, viewer. Good to see you. Oh, 2 viewers. Looks like the first viewer brought a friend. Two seconds. Hey guys. I am turning onto North Carolina Highway 210, heading back toward my house. It was a rainy event today. Supposed to rain again here shortly, and it was storming. There, a line of thunderstorms came through this morning, very strong. I mean, the house actually shook a couple times from the sound. But today I was on a service call. I went to a little town called Hampstead, and the guy said his AC was not working, so he shut it off. Which I'm glad he did. Said, I don't know, it just stopped working. So I got there, and I didn't see it when I passed up through the stairs, because I went up to the air handler to make sure it was on. I didn't look up at the filter just yet. I walked on upstairs, and I looked at it, and looked at an old Trane air handler, had the filter door on the side, little metal air handler like the TWE series, I believe it was, probably. So the filter door was on there, it was kind of loose, so I took it off, took the filter out, because I heard the trying to draw through the door cracks and stuff like that, so there's a lot of static pressure on it. Now you hear that little was trying to suck it in from the side. So I took the filter door off, and there was a filter in there, but I'm fairly certain there were filters in the grills too. I wasn't for sure. So I took that filter out, and it was about as dirty as can be. It was pretty bad off. Not the worst one ever, pretty bad. So okay, I'm gonna see what the static is on this machine. So alright. So I got out my stuff, and I carry my little drill bit with me, so I drilled the holes in there. Let's see what the static is. And I hadn't gone downstairs to check the other filters yet. I was kind of curious what I was gonna see. Put them in there, static was 0.95. So I thought, that's pretty damn high. And that's with that other filter out. So the static was probably over 1, and all of it was on the return side. I mean, every bit of it. Static is like a little back and forth. If you have an extreme static on one side, you'll have no static on the other side. And then you'll let up on one, it'll kind of even out a little bit. So it was trying to draw on this return side real hard. Wasn't getting much air. So I went down to, there's 2 filter grills. One was like a 14 by 14, one was like a, I don't know, 16 by 25 or some shit like that. So I went to the 14 by 14, and it was like a brown piece of carpet. It was pretty bad. So I took that one out, and I almost hear the return go, thanks. It's like, thanks. And just stopped talking. And I went down to the bottom of the stairs. There's a big grill, and it was so clogged with shit that there's that cardboard rim around the outside that holds the filtering material in place. Then it was one of those that had little metal circles all the way down it, little metal circles to hold it in place. And it had ripped it apart, tried to suck up part of the filter media out of the cardboard frame. And it was pretty damn dirty. And I was like, hey pal, here's your problem. It's like, oh, we haven't changed those. It's like, yeah. Like since the last time I was here, like 2013, it looks like I haven't changed it. So the unit had frozen up, undoubtedly. So I went back up, and the static was 0.5. So it was a good static. I had changed out the return filters, so the static was looking good, much better than before. But let you know how bad off it can be. I wasn't able to recheck my refrigerant pressures. I checked my refrigerant pressures before, but it was raining so hard I couldn't do it afterwards. But before we were running, in the low 50s. But it's one of the things where you got to discern low charge from other problems. So we were running in the low 50s, but we were coming back at, let's see, low 50s. So our saturation was right around 30, but our temperature on the line was around 48. And on those trained TXVs, a lot of times they try to they give you like a 17, 18 degree superheat, a total superheat outside near the compressor. And it was right in line with that. So I was like, man, that sounds pretty good. And then I checked the subcooling. Subcooling was 9. So this is Z manifold subcooling, so it could have been 5 or 15. But it was enough so that there should have been a solid column of liquid at the evaporator. So it looked good. It wasn't a low charge. You can tell from the subcooling. Oh, looks like... Sorry guys, someone had called. Had to brush it off so I could finish my blog first. I don't know where it cut me off at, but we're talking about how it's not a low charge. Even though we had a low suction pressure, back into the channel video yesterday, what was, and someone might say, well, that might be a low charge, start dumping refrigerant in it, but it wouldn't be the case. Because we had a very cold suction line, because our TXV was still giving us around a 17 degree superheat, meaning we're coming back at 47 degrees, but the TXV was functional. It was getting, like I said, 9-ish degrees of subcooling. So plenty of subcooling, get liquid to the TXV. So we had to move on to airflow. Airflow issues are the biggest. So I go upstairs, and that's where I ran into our high static, our very filthy return, our filters. I made sure the ductwork looked all right. Ductwork was fine, because like I said, afterwards we had a 0.5 static, which was pretty good. And it goes hand in hand with some of these target refrigerant pressures. By themselves, a lot of these things are meaningless, but you put them together with other stuff and they mean something. If I just said the pressure, you'd say low in refrigerant. But if you add in the superheat and subcooling, it's low airflow. So we'll talk more about that, just a short conversation, and I will see you guys on the next one. I have 6 viewers. I have more viewers afterwards than during. That is sad. The trees